Hey everyone, this is Michael Ridley, and this is the second part of Am I a Millennial or Gen Z if I'm born in 1995. Now we're actually focusing on 1995 specifically. I'm going to go through each generation and actually tell you where they actually exactly start. So you may have seen that on the media they use one of these two now. But what if I told you that these are not the correct generational years and they're actually completely wrong? And I'm going to explain in this video if you allow me to give me a chance to explain why. So without further ado, I do want to get into it now. So in astrology, there's a planet called Pluto. Well, it's not even in astrology, in astronomy as well. There's a planet called Pluto. But in astrology, Pluto rules your transformation type, your power type, and also your generational traits. So whatever placement you have in Pluto is your generation, and for the generation you actually are born under. So I'm going to start with Pluto in Leo, the baby boomers. They are from 1937 to 1958. And please do keep in mind these are not sociology mainstream dates, these are the real dates astrologically speaking. So yes, 1937 to 1958 is Pluto in Leo, also known as the boomers. They are charismatic, expressive, and status conscious. They are focused on creativity, leadership, and recognition. They have a strong desire to stand out and define identity through personal achievement. History, context, and correlation. Post-World War II optimism, rise of television, which is very Leo as well, and mass media created opportunity for self-expression. Cultural revolutions of the 50s and early 60s, rock and roll, Hollywood glamour, and celebrity culture and status. This reflected Leo's dramatic, attention-grabbing energy. So what is Leo? We already know that it's about celebrity status, it's about standing out, it's about being in the spotlight. And once again, very accurately, this is what the boomers are about. Boomers push social boundaries and pretty much allowed individualism to be a normal mainstream thing, which is also very Pluto in Leo and everything that Leo stands for. Now we're going to move on to Pluto and Virgo, early Gen X, which is 1956 to 1972. Now before I start, I want to say once again and make sure this is very clear. Yes, I am aware that in sociology, Paul research started from 1965 and ends at 1980. And other sources may slightly vary, but these are completely incorrect and not true. According to astrology, Gen X does begin in 1956 and actually ends in 1972. This is early Gen X we're talking about. They are detail-oriented, practical, analytical, and are perfectionist. They have a desire for order, efficiency, and improvement. They are often critical but disciplined in their work and lifestyle. History, context, and correlation. Rather technology, which is actually very Virgo. Once again, Virgo is one of the signs that rules technology, computing, and systems. People learn to navigate structure and systems, which is very Virgo once again. Social reformation and economic shift, amplified productivity and just doing things right, which are also Virgo traits and everything that the earth sign of Virgo represents. This generation questions institutions while valuing work ethic and practical solutions. Virgo is a very practical sign, but once again this only makes sense. Pluto in Libra, late Gen X, 1971 to 1984. Personality traits, relationship focused, diplomatic and justice oriented, which are very Libra traits. Sensitive to fairness and interpersonal harmony. And when I say sensitive to fairness, I'm actually saying that they value fairness a lot. It's a very fair generation, late Gen X. Skilled at negotiation and valuing multiple perspectives. History, context, and correlation to Libra, which actually matches up. Era of social liberalization, general equality movements such as LGBTQ as well, and global diplomacy. Rise of divorce rates and changing family dynamics created a focus on partnerships and collaboration. Now while the LGBT movement did come a little later, it was actually the Pluto and Libra generation that slowly did start that off. tech and pop culture began shaping new aesthetics and social norms, reflecting Libra's focus on beauty and balance. That is late Gen X. Now we go to Pluto and Scorpio, which is millennials, which astrologically is from 1983 to 1995. Personality traits: intense transformation and emotionally deep, strong desire for meaning, eccentricity, and rebirth. Often drawn to power dynamics, taboo subjects, and uncovering hidden truths. Historical context and correlation. Growth of the internet and social media expose secrets and fuel cultural transformation, which is very Scorpion once again. Emo culture started during the 90s, which is very Scorpion once again. Emotionally deep and dark, which is what emo culture represents. Millennials experience economic instability and global crisis, which intensified in perspective and adaptability during these times. Themes of reinvention, empowerment, and confronting social taboos aligns with Scorpio's transformation energy. Scorpio is also about the taboo, which happened during this time frame. Once again, it matches up very accurately with history and what happened on Earth. Pluto and Sagittarius, Generation Z, from 1995 to 2008. Personality traits. This generation is adventurous, optimistic, truth-seeking, and freedom-loving. They are philosophical, curious, and open-minded to exploring cultures and ideas. They value personal belief system and global perspective. History context of Generation Z, or Pluto and Sagittarius. Era of globalization, rapid technological growth. We started with the Pluto and Virgo generation, but the Pluto and Sagittarius is all about travel and things like that, and it did expand a lot of access to information and just made the internet a lot better and a bit more complex and things like that. They also have exposure to diverse cultures and ideas, shaping an independent, globally aware mindset to this generation. They love travel, education, and they love to have a broad-minded thinking process. This reflects Sagittarians' love of exploitation and truth. So that is Gen Z. And another thing I did forgot to add, they are also a very blunt and honest generation, and they're not afraid to stand up for what they believe in. Which we already know that with Gen Z, that's what it is. So that is the Pluto and Sagittarius generation. So as you can see, astrology is very accurate with each generation and how it specifically is, and you could say stereotypically, but stereotyping not always good, but just how the generation is and how we know these generations. It always lines up with what sign Pluto is in, or what sign the person has in their chart with Pluto. Anyway, we're going to get on with Pluto and Capricorn, Generation Alpha, from 2008 to 2024. Personality trait: ambitious, disciplined, responsible, and strategic. Now, while these may be positive traits, they may also be cold, hate being told what to do, and they also hate authority. When it actually is expressed negatively. While they may have some negative traits such as being cold and hate being told what to do, they also like focus on building structures, achieving goals, and reforming systems. They often are goal-oriented and aware of long-term consequences. But Generation Alpha are still young, so we will see where this goes as all of them get into adulthood. So now we're going to get into history context and correlation. Rise of the global financial crisis, which actually did start around when Pluto and Capricorn actually did start. When Pluto actually went into Capricorn, we did have a financial crisis, which I'll actually put it on the screen right now. This is more evidence that astrology does work. Now, Pluto is all about money, it's all about goals, and it's also another practical earth sign. That Pluto is the sign of money, I will say that. And when Pluto went into Capricorn, or not long after, the financial crisis actually did happen. More evidence right there. Anyway, moving on. Global awareness and political accountability shape courses and systems-aware personality. So what I always want to say about the political thing, it did shape a lot of things, which I decided not to go too much in detail, because this video is not political, it's about the generations. Anyway, we're going to go with early exposure to digital tech, structured education, and cultural resources. Capricorns focus on long-term planning and resilience. Will likely redefine their work, authority, and sociology systems, or social systems in adulthood. Thus, many of them may actually become sociologists. Since sociology is not just about generations, I'm just saying I do not agree with their dates, but sociology is more than just generational years. Anyway, moving on. Pluto in Aquarius, Generation Beta, from 2024 to 2044. So this is what we are in right now. We are currently at the recording of this video, we are in Pluto in Aquarius. So first we start with their personality traits. So innovative, forward-thinking, humanitarian, and freedom-focused. They have a strong desire for technology advancements, social equity, and reformation. Now, every single generation beta right now are still growing. They have only just been born, and they're still toddlers or babies or newborns, or they have not been born at all. So we do not know what's going to happen, but according to astrology, we can only predict that these are going to be the traits. So they will be innovative, they'll be forward-thinking, they'll be humanitarians, they have a strong desire for technology advancement as they get into teen and adulthood. So right now, history context, this is what we're in right now. They will grow up in a hyper, digital, AI-driven and global interconnected world. So Pluto in Aquarius is another sign that rules technology, but it just rules more of the future version of technology, if that does make sense. Pluto in Virgo also rules technology, but it's more about creating technology, if that actually makes sense. So once again, with Pluto being in Aquarius and this whole AI thing happening now, it only makes sense that AI has gone mainstream as soon as Pluto enters Aquarius. So once again, there is more evidence with a sign that is known to rule technology, as an AI actually does come out during the time it actually has entered into Aquarius. Anyway, they're likely to champ for social justice, environmental inventions, and technology revolutions, which is already happening right now. Aquarius energy favors radical society shift, individual liberties, and futuristic thinking. So, astrology predicts that this AI thing is only going to get more advanced. It's going to be more technological, and it's going to be everything that Aquarius stands for. If Aquarius does rule technology, it pretty much rules the weak side of technology in the futuristic way of technology. So there you go. This is your evidence for astrology, and it's not just one time that you can say it's just by chance. You can actually look at this whole entire thing from Pluto and Scorpio, where the emo era started. You can go from Pluto and Capricorn, which is from where the financial crisis happened at the very start of it, or Pluto and Aquarius, which rules technology, and you can see this whole AI thing currently happening. You can also go to Pluto in Virgo, which is where the technology in computing started, which is around 1956-ish. Of course, it wasn't as advanced as it is now, but you got to start from somewhere. And it started with Pluto and Virgo. And now we're in Pluto and Leo, Aquarius, where it's actually very advanced. Now, you may be asking that there is overlap. Like, you got Pluto and Capricorn, which ends in 2024. Then you got Pluto and Aquarius, which starts in 2024. So even astrologically, there's overlap. But there's actually something here compared to the sociology dates. Pluto is a transformational planet. The energy does not switch over just like that. So if you are born in an overlap date, like I am, I'm born in 1995 between Scorpio and Sagittarius, you may likely have traits of both of those generations. So let me explain, I will show you. So Pluto in Scorpio 1995, so I may be very intense, transformation generationally and emotionally deep on a generational level. But I will also have the adventurous, truth-seeking, and freedom-loving, like the freedom-loving traits of Generation Z. So you could say that astrologically we're known as the millennials. 1995 is not fully millennial, but it's probably more Gen Z, I would say, in my own opinion. because it does start transitioning into that generation. So anyone claiming that 1995 has to relate to 1981 as part of that generation, they are wrong and they're complete bullshit. I'm sorry about their complete bullshit, and that's just my opinion from doing these studies for over 7 years now. So yes, you can call yourself a millennial, but 1995 is not fully millennial, and this is also astrologically speaking as well. So yeah, I'll follow let you know. If you are born in an overlap date, another one I'm going to give as an example is 2008. They are born between Pluto and Sagittarius, which is Gen Z, and Pluto and Capricorn, which is Generation Alpha. They would probably have like the ambitious, disciplined, responsible, and strategic generational traits of Gen Alpha, mixing it with the truth-seeking Pluto and Sagittarius. So you could say that anyone born on an overlap date or in the overlap period would just have traits of both generations, if that makes sense. I will do a separate video on the cusp generations and what the traits are, just to give you more information on that and just to make it a bit more easy to understand. But this video is not about cusp generation. Now the difference with the sociology ones is because you're not going to get a clear answer with that. Astrology is based on energies and you will get a clear answer. 1995, you get a mix of both. So there's your answer astrologically. Sociology wise, you're not going to get a clear answer and you're pretty much going to be very left confused. So anyway, I'm going to end the video off now. I hope that does make sense. If you are born in an overlap date, you will have mixed traits. That's your answer. You are pretty much a mix of both generations. You are part of both generations. So anyway, I thought I will go through all those, and until next time, I will see you in the third, pretty much the third and the very last part of this video series. Goodbye for now.